All right, let's try this again. Wait a little bit to see if everybody gets back in. Um, mm, all right, let's try this again. Give it a little bit so people can come back, and I'll start the recording. That sucks ass. Mm. Mm. Oh wait, I'll go grab something real quick. All right, chat, we're back. Hopefully for good this time. We'll see. What was the last thing you all heard? Well, I guess it would be just before it crashed. I'm not recording right now, so I'm going to do a quick summary of everything I just covered, so we can get caught up with this again. Long story short, all right, so I've been talking about Zelensky, my opinion about him and Ukraine and our involvement with Ukraine. Um, the quick summary of it all. If you guys want to hear the whole spiel, it'll be on the VOD later, posted this week for you guys to check out. For those who are subscribers, I don't care what channel you're subscribed to. As long as you're a subscriber, you get access to all my ad-free content. So ad-free will be posted first on my Travesty chat. Um, and if you don't have Travesty or don't want to get Travesty, just hit me up on social and with your Rumble account, so I know who you are and what you're subscribed under, to verify that you are in fact subscribed. Even if it's a gifted, if you were gifted the subscription, you have access until your gifted runs out or your subscription runs out. Um, yeah, I know it did. My internet's acting up. Hopefully they fixed it. Hopefully that's the hope anyway. But a quick summary of everything I covered while you guys couldn't hear a word I was saying or see me for that matter. I don't think Ukraine is or has ever been our ally. They've been allies and friends of convenience. They give little to nothing back to us. Zelensky is blackmail. I believe Zelensky blackmailed their previous president because of his son and his involvement with Ukraine. I believe that Zelensky's got dirt on the Biden administration, which is why Biden was more than accommodating to Zelensky's demands and requests. I also believe that I have no facts to back this up, so a lot this part is gonna be all opinionated based off of observation without actual hard concrete evidence. I also believe that a lot of the politicians that vote for the aid and support the aid because their pockets are being lined by defense contracts and other things, being lobbied and all that stuff. The typical assumption about anybody that advocates for war without just probable justification. I don't know if it was Trump's intention when he pushed back on Zelensky and threatened to take away his support, and how him and Vance dealt with Zelensky at the conference this week. But I do believe that this is a fantastic side effect. Is now that the EU and other nations are stepping up their support for Ukraine, I firmly believe the United States should not be carrying the brunt of that responsibility anymore. We're done being taken advantage of. This is why I voted for Trump the first time. This is why I voted for him this time. I want the other countries start sharing the load a little bit more. We pay more into the UN and NATO, like leaps and bounds more than any other country. And we have definitely paid more into Ukraine than any other country by leaps and bounds. And it's about time they start stepping up the game. I love that the UK is bragging about their $2.8 billion they loaned to Ukraine when we gave to Ukraine. And Ukraine has mismanaged and lost, whether it's intentional or on accident. My opinion, I think it's mostly intentional. I think it's being laundered and sold. Our equipment and aid, I believe that is being used to line pockets of corrupt politicians in the United States and in Ukraine. Zelensky being one of them. That's why he's so willing to demand more support from us. And I think that's one of his biggest mistakes. He knew he could demand support from Biden, but he cannot demand support from Trump. And that he mishandled himself and rightfully so got put in his place. And all these other countries crying about how we mistreated the leader of the free world. They're complete asshats and they don't know what they're talking about. I also think there's still some U.S. aid kind of organizations that are funding these protests that have magically appeared all over the country and the world shortly after that meeting with Ukraine. So wellly organized with the clothing, the flags, the signs. That just doesn't happen overnight. So definitely, obviously, something more nefarious is going on to be able to fund and mobilize that a little more. I also believe that it's a little too convenient, these videos about men being abducted in Ukraine to be conscripted in the Ukrainian military is a little too convenient. I know one video that keeps circling in my timeline specifically is sorry, I was just making sure my internet was running. Is a van with a Polish license plate on it. No way to confirm if the people in the van are Ukrainian or part of the Ukrainian government. No way to confirm if the person being abducted is Ukrainian. Unless you're going to argue that Poland is abducting these people to serve in the Ukrainian military, because Poland does have an interest to not have Russia on the front door. Totally understand that. Do not agree with conscripting at all, at least not in that manner. But there's nothing to back this up, so be very careful what you see on your timeline. Trust but verify. Some cases don't trust at all, just verify. Another video I saw recently was a beautiful supposed Ukrainian girl on TikTok getting mud smeared all over her and dry blood on her while she wore Ukrainian military while she's out in the middle of the field to insinuate she's in some battlefield. So obviously be wary of propaganda stuff. Granted, at the same time, that kind of propaganda has been going on since the dawn of time. So I can't be too angry or upset at Ukraine for doing something like that, because we definitely have done it. We will continue to do it. So if we're going to say that Ukraine is wrong for trying to propagandize their war in that sense, then we have to hold ourselves to the same standard. But the videos of people being abducted to be conscripted, I take that with a heavy grain of salt because I don't trust it at all. And then the last summary of everything I just discussed. Crap, what was I going to? It was a point I made while the stream was still up, and while I was recording. concerning. I'm no way in support of Russia taking over Ukraine. I'm all for. Oh, now I remember what I was to say. I'm all for helping Ukraine if maybe if it was under different leadership, but until Zelensky and his administration get their heads out of their asses, I think they have officially cut themselves off from USA, and I fully support Trump and Vance doing that if that's the direction they decide to take this. Because there's too much giving and not a lot getting from the United States from a country that's not really our ally. I feel for the Ukrainian people, but if they continue to support and vote for this, I don't feel that bad for them because clearly they want this. Um, I recently found out, I even looked it up to verify, again, trust but verify, that Zelensky has been dismantling his political opposition. I already knew about him suspending elections, which is already a shady gray area to me. I think I knew about him suspending the Constitution, which I'm gonna have to. You know what? Actually, I'm going to go ahead and start the recording, and we'll pick up there. And because I think I got you guys pretty caught up with a speed run of what I'm talking about. If my stream goes down again, please let me know. It's going to be hard to let you know because if it goes down, I don't have internet, so I'm not going to see your messages anyway. All right, those who are watching the well, all right. I probably should actually brighten up my screen a little bit. All right, for those who are watching the recording, I got you guys all. Oh, hold on, never mind. I forgot to rotate my screen now. Thanks, Cox. Let me try this again. All right. Now I got chat caught up because I just found out while I was recording this segment, even though I was in fact live, nobody can hear or see anything I was talking about. So I got them caught up, basically what we were talking about here, in case they don't want to watch the VOD after I post it. Because people usually like the live version better than the VOD version, even though I premiere the VOD, so it's kind of like a live. They just can't hear me live, but they can see me chatting and chat live, which is another fun feature for those who liked are watching on other platforms. If you head over to rumble.com and follow aircondatv, when I do my VODs and upload them, the recorded content, it is there. It gets premiered and gets treated like live, so you can listen to what I'm saying and then chat with myself and anybody else that's hanging out in chat to discuss what I'm talking about. But basically, got him caught up to the point where I was talking about Zelensky, and I'm kind of backtracking a little bit based on the recording, so forgive me and bear with me. But it's kind of hand in hand. I don't remember exactly where I got to cut off because I got a little frustrated and angry. Bella, stop, because of the internet going down. But I got caught up to the point where Zelensky has dismantled political opposition, suspended his constitution, suspended elections in the name of martial law, and dismantled multiple media outlets to make them into one big government-ran media outlet to run 24/7, which you guarantee you is for propaganda. I'm against all that. I would be 100% against that if Trump did that. Let's say we go to war with China, and then the next week, and he dismantles MS. As much as I hate MSNBC, CNN, and ABC, I would be 1,000% him coming in and says, "You guys need to shut down." As long as they didn't break any actual laws, like helping the enemy. Like, but anyway, I'm 100% against Trump going in there and dismantling media outlets to make them one massive government-run organization. Media should not be run by the government at all. Period. Dot. There's no room for argument. I don't care how much I hate MSNBC, ABC, and CNN and all those other organizations. The government should not be running them. They should not be receiving any government funding. I don't care how you justify it. They should not receive any government funding. If they are, they have been compromised, in my opinion. I don't care who's in power when it's happened. And they should not be a trusted source. So the fact that Zelensky does that tells me he is not, in fact, the leader of the free world like the EU and other countries are trying to argue right now. So, now that we're caught up to, I guess, basically back to that point, um, let them have their leader of the free world as he. I mean, because let's be honest, what part of the EU is actually free right now? People are being arrested for memes, being arrested for speech that is not okayed by their government, by their overlords, by their handlers. There's threats of arresting Americans coming over there because, like, I won't be surprised if I ended up in Europe and I got arrested because I said things they didn't like because they're trash. They're not free. So I guess I'm okay with them picking Zelensky as the new leader of the free world because their definition of free is not a definition of free I'm all about. Let them suffer and trash. And if you people, I know not everybody in Europe, the actual people are for and support of this, but it seems like at least the majority of you are not for it because this still going on without issue and little's being done to overturn it. And maybe I'm way off on that. If I am, I apologize, but it doesn't seem like a lot is being done, and it was allowed to get this bad in the first place. Um, Now, on my opinion about Russia, no, obviously, I would absolutely love Russia to be completely kicked out of Ukraine and let the Ukrainian people. But from what I understand, the Donbass region, I think, is where they initially took over um, under Obama, by the way, who did nothing to help them. But apparently, it's bad because Trump's not doing it for some reason. Whatever. Nobody seemed to complain when that was taken over under Obama's administration. And something I forgot to tell you guys in chat. I was also talking about Ukraine's involvement with the RussiaGate hoax that was impeded Trump's first term and prevented a lot of the stuff we wanted to see done to get done. So I have no love lost for the Ukrainian government. Ukrainian people, as long as they're against what's happening, I'm all for them. I feel bad for them. I mean, okay, that's not fair. I kind of said something harsh earlier about how I don't, if they support this stuff, then I don't feel bad for them because they're getting what they want. Innocent lives are being lost. Maybe they don't fully understand the situation, so they're blindly falling. No innocent life should be lost, but that is not our problem anymore. If the Ukrainian government is not willing to work with us and not actually be a friend or an ally to the United States, then we have no business supporting them. We're basically supporting one corrupt government for another corrupt government because Putin's no angel by any stretch of the imagination. Why can't I think of his name? He's on Timcast all the time. Luke from We Are Change. I can't remember Wachowski. I can't remember his last name. From We Are Change, posted a video about Putin saying he's willing to give us his rare earth minerals, since Ukraine's not. By all means, if he wants to just give them to us. I have no problem with the United States taking that from Russia. If he wants to do a fair trade, like in goods, like non-government or a fair trade in goods, then we'll take his rare earth minerals. But if he's expecting it to be payment for us to take up arms against Ukraine or send troops over to help him or equipment and aid over to help him, no, 1,000% against that. I am not for supporting Putin. He's proven to be dirty. He's proven to be corrupt. He's a former KGB. I don't think he has the best interest of the United States at mind. So I am completely against helping Putin in such a way. So if he's expecting to take the deal that we gave Ukraine by giving us rare earth minerals, I am not okay with that. Unless he's trying to, no, I'm still not okay with it because especially if he's trying to argue, hey, if we conquer that area of Ukraine, we'll give you the minerals that you wanted. No, not okay with that. In this case, I don't think enemy of my enemy is my friend is not a valid argument, in my opinion. I saw Jeremy Boring's post about your war is complex. It's not a cut and dry situation. And I 100% agree, but I'm also at the point where I don't give a damn. We have played the world's police for so long now. People get pissed off when we're involved. People get pissed off when we're not involved. So why not do the thing that's going to benefit the United States the most and not get involved and just have people pissed off at us anyway? Do I think we should do it to the point where we have no allies and God forbid we're invaded? No, I don't think we should take it that far. But it's time for the other countries to start carrying their weight. They need to give up more of their money, more of the equipment. I don't want them to give up more of their people because I don't want lives being lost for a senseless war. But if they were so concerned about Russia taking over Ukraine, why was it the U.S.'s responsibility to supply equipment and aid to Ukraine before the invasion and heavily so after the invasion? Why didn't they step up a little more? Yes, okay, they gave tanks, but the U.S. still gave a lot more than they got. a shit ton of stuff from us. And you can argue our equipment's better. Fine, I'm all about U.S. superiority in that sense. I'm very prideful in my country, and will say that we are the USA number one. But that is not an excuse for it. That's just like stroking your ego, hoping that we provide the maximum amount of support where everybody else has to do the bare minimum. Again, our money in aid was not alone. As far as I know, maybe we've had a couple of them with a loan, but we've 160 billion, 250 billion at this point or something like that. I can't keep track of how much we gave up. And I don't recall any of those having loan attached to that. But UK gives 2.8 billion in a loan, and everybody's acting like the God savior of the world. No, screw that. Proves that they don't deserve our support in the first place. Well, I think I ran enough on Ukraine. So we're going to go ahead and move on to Pam Bondi for a hard segue. Pam Bondi. My opinion on Pam Bondi. Where are we in this video so I know? 3 minutes? 8 minutes? 8 minutes. Uh, Pam Bondi. My opinion on Pam Bondi. I wasn't super thrilled about her in the first place. I was more in support of Matt Gaetz. I've heard a lot of things I don't like about Pam Bondi concerning the Second Amendment. I don't trust her. I believe she would throw the Second Amendment under the bus in a heartbeat based off of what I've heard. And the fact, and what has further solidified that opinion of mine, is her recent handling of the Epstein files. I can understand when they were not fully released because an FBI agency in New York, which is, I got to be honest, is kind of convenient, is in the same district that is the people that have been prosecuting Trump. So I do find that very convenient. That is not lost on me, so don't worry, I'm not falling into this blindly. But the same district FBI office, the same district that prosecuted Trump, has this FBI office. Somehow is it been destroying all the Epstein files and refused to give Pam Bondi the full Epstein files. And her response today was, "Don't worry, we'll find who did it and we'll fire him." No, the fuck you won't. You arrest the shit out of him and have him up for prosecution and investigation. And if he's found to be guilty or she is found to be guilty for this crime, they should go to prison. Enough said. That's the end of the discussion. I don't want to hear what if, but what, oh, if this person is intentionally disobeying the direct order of the United States president in a criminal act, which we know for a fact, trafficking children for trafficking people in general, especially for sexual issues or sexual things, is a crime in the United States, and it should be a crime around the world. But obviously, there's cultures that disagree with us. Um, obviously don't support those cultures. But Epstein has been convicted and charged for his crimes. These are cover-ups of said crimes to protect his clientele, who are very much criminals. I don't care if it's Trump. I don't care if it's Vance. I don't care if it's the Pope. If they're on that list and they partook in the molesting and raping of children, they need to go to jail in a heartbeat, period. If you can prove it, though. Just because they're, I don't want to just a court of emotion. I want a court of fact. So they end up going to a court over these files. I want it without a doubt that these people were involved with these crimes, and I want them to be prosecuted. Now, if an FBI agent is hindering that from happening, then by all means, arrest that FBI agent, throw him in jail. Again, if you can prove they did it, we're going to fire him when smiling on the camera. No, no, weak. That is weak sauce. Cash Patel, I expect better of you. Pam Bondi, I didn't really expect a whole lot from you in the first place, but if you want to win my trust, you need to do better. That was trash. I wasn't initially upset like everybody else about the failure to release the full Epstein files because I'm not really, as sad as this is, not really expecting it. Well, no, I should be upset by that. If what Pam Bondi was saying is true, that an FBI agent has intentionally blocked her from getting access to those files and continues to refuse to do so, I get it. Totally understand. She should have made that abundantly clear before releasing the files, but it was too convenient. She did it after the fact. I don't like that at all. Even if it's true, it has come to my attention. I do not have all said files released them. As they should. Some people say condoms being so soft it shouldn't be proverbial burn them at the stake. Actually, physically burn them at the stake, as a lot of people might say. Um, then I yeah, like I said, I think sorry, my dog's distracted me and broke my train of thought. I firmly believe Pam Bondi dropped the ball. If this is intentional, she better have a damn good reason why she's playing it this way. And if we find out it ends up bringing up the entire network down and all the clients are going to jail shortly after this, then I applaud her for paying 6D chest or playing 6D chest or whatever you want to call it. But if this comes down, she fucked up and she's trying to cover her ass by all this finger pointing and redirecting, then she needs to be fired immediately and another person appointed, because I'm not playing this game. We're done. We elected Trump because we're done with this bullshit. We want this to end now. We want people to be held accountable for their crimes and actions. Again, I don't care what political party they're associated with. I don't care what organization they're associated with. If they were involved with the Epstein clients at all, they need to go to jail immediately. Done. No more. Pam Bondi, if you can't step up your game, and if firing you think is the best thing available for this FBI agent that hindered you in your investigation and what the people have voted for, then this person needs to go to jail. Firing is not enough. Because I also know what firing means in a lot of these cases with these government agencies. They get a severance package, they get benefits, and depending how long they serve, they even get full-on retirement. So no, I'm not playing this game. We're not paying this person for being a shithead. We're going to prosecute and punish them. But that's my opinion. I haven't been very vocal about Pam Bondi. I've been very nervous and reserved about her. I have a lot of problems and concern with her, and I'm looking forward to her doing better, much better. And if she does not hold up her end of the deal and does not do what the American people elected her for, I know we didn't specifically vote for her, but we voted for Trump in the hopes that he would put an end to all this nonsense. She needs to be fired. And if Trump refused to hold her accountable for her failures, he needs to be held accountable too, because we need to be done with this. Until we learn to be done with this, we will never improve. We'll never get the results we're looking for. And people continue to walk that should not be able to walk. They should be locked up behind bars, with Bubba missing half his teeth, saying they got a pretty mouth, and asking him to bend over to pick up the soap. So I know there's a quick segment on Pam Bondi, but I mean, I don't know how many more ways I can tell I'm not happy with her decision and how she's handling the situation. It really pissed me off when I saw last night that all she's going to do is fire the person that's involved with not releasing the documents. That really pissed me off. And that was enough. I was mainly remaining quiet, waiting to see what actually happens and takes place. But when she says all they're going to do is fire him, and maybe she intends to do more than that, but for whatever stupid reason, she thought it was okay to only mention firing him. Hopefully Cash Patel's got like a big stick that he's going to beat over the head of this person, and we're just waiting for it to actually happen. And then she's trying to not scare this person from coming forward or something. I don't know. Maybe they're trying to dangle a worm or something. I don't know. But this person better end up in jail if everything is true. Um, But yeah, and like I said, I said I wouldn't read chat unless somebody rant, but Whiskey brought up something that I've heard before that I'm not super thrilled about either. Pam